In last week's episode, you accompanied us exploring the medieval mystic town San Vicente de la Barquera, continuing towards Ribacella, where a fellow sailor ran aground badly. Luckily, he was towed out by the Cruz Roja after 1 hour aground. Both a bit unsure about the right water depth in the inlet, we waited until high water to enter. Ribacella then gave us the possibility to stretch our legs and to have a washing fiesta on board. In Lastres we celebrated my birthday with a lobster cage and a hike up to the mountain to enjoy the beautiful scenery Lastres is located in. Our next stop in Gijón made it possible to receive some spare parts for our wind vane and to dive into big city life in Asturias.
Having arrived in the fairy tale harbour town Luarca, Ilya and I took a stroll around the town, first up the hill to the Cementerio de Luarca. Here the mortal remains of famous Severo Ochoa de Albanos and his wife rest, leaning into the Cantabrian Sea. Severo Ochoa's grave stands out for his modesty and is nowadays one of the most visited places by science and culture enthusiasts.
Another hill we climbed up gave us the opportunity to have a good view on Thula anchoring in front of the huge harbour mall next to Team Blitz, a Dutch couple with their Dela that had arrived the evening we did. Unlike mentioned in the Reed's Nautical Almanac, there were no buoys to tie up for guest yachts. So when arriving, the only chance we had was to slowly approach the huge wall, with Jana having to make a big leap onto the 6-meter ladder decorated with a long and heavy landline. Having made it to the top, I dropped the front anchor in the middle of the fairway and Jana had to pull Thula's stern back again. This was actually the most challenging berthing procedure during our journey so far, and it was also the most unsafe place for Thula. Team Blitz told us after our town expedition that during the night their anchor slipped and that their rigging hit the wall when the wind had picked up. We had also spent half of the night awake, always being on alert. We decided that there was no way we would stay awake another night, hoisted our anchor and approached the fishing harbor like a snail. We had seen 2 small free spaces inside. Even if it would not fit, having Thula snows in one of them would be better than spending another night outside.
In the harbor, there were fishing vessels, left mooring buoys, and ropes in the water everywhere. Luckily, we made it safely inside the last corner and then towed up Thula's stern. Team Blitz followed quickly after, and we enjoyed a cold drink of relief together as the sun set. The next morning, our calmed down emotions quickly heated up again when we saw the waves breaking in Luaka's fairway. Taking a few rounds inside the sheltered harbor walls, peeking outside again and again, we finally figured out a safe way next to the breaking giants, and then, none of us saying a word, let Nani do her work. We were so relieved when we had left the wave-breaking zone, having YouTube video scenes in our head of capsizing yachts and harbor fairways in northern Spain that fellow sailors had shown us. And this is where the torture against wind and wave started. It took us 12 hours to reach Ribadeo, a beautiful river inlet only 25 nautical miles away. We anchored right on the border between the provinces Asturias and Galicia that night to continue our attacking battle against wind and waves for the coming week, where our video camera unfortunately broke down. The Rias Altas, the fjord-like river inlets that gave us shelter overnight, reminded us a lot of our sailing trips to Scandinavia.
Wellenhöhe 7 Meter, Windstärke 6. Thula hoch am Wind, die letzten 10 Meilen. Das ist
We made it to La Coruña, where we spent a chatty evening with Jan, a German solo sailor that we would also meet again on the Isla Seas, a beautiful island archipelago just off the Rias Baixas, our main goal to welcome our guests on board. When we finally arrived at the Cabo Fisterra after 9 days of wind on the bow, we had our biggest challenge to face: Hurricane Lorenzo's swell reaching the Spanish coast. On our way to Porto Sin in the Ria de Muros Enoia, we had to tack through the so-called bayous, shallow areas with huge rock formations underwater, which let the waves rolling in from the Atlantic form into huge barrels. There seemed to be white water around us everywhere, which was paired with changing wind directions and drizzly rain showers until we were freezing cold. What a treat it was, arriving in a sheltered marina with hot showers and a good night's sleep after 1.5 weeks of torture against wind and waves. Talking to an elderly Australian couple about our trip around the Costa Da Morte, the coast of death, which actually seemed a very suitable name, they just said, "When sailing, you can either choose the place or the time. You should never choose both." And they were so right. Why stress so much with the crew spending all their physical and mental energy to arrive at a place at a certain time? Why stress the boat so much in heavy weather so that things might break? This experience taught us a precious lesson for further guests to arrive, which will then just have to be flexible to a certain extent. We were very happy when we finally welcomed Ilia's parents aboard, bringing us a piece of home to Spain. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed being on board along the Costa da Morte, experiencing the huge waves crashing on shore with nothing stopping them, coming from the vast Atlantic Ocean. If you are interested in more details about our boat and our trip, have a look on our website blended in below. Becoming our Patreon would be a big help for improving our video gear that also partly stopped working, as you saw during this episode. Salt water can be very harsh on material. We hope to see you next time. Hasta pronto!